Today, we're not just talking about theory. Nope. We're cracking open a practical guide for actually getting things done. We're talking about the leadership playbook. So let's just jump right in with a huge question. What really makes someone a great leader? Is it just natural charisma? Is it having some kind of special authority? Or is it about always having the right answer? We all have this picture in our heads, but I think it's time we challenge that a little.
Because here's the real secret, the thing they don't always tell you. It has almost nothing to do with a fancy title on a business card. True leadership, well, that's about knowing exactly which play to run at exactly the right moment to get your team across the finish line.
And that, right there, is the foundation for this whole playbook. It all starts with understanding that leadership isn't a title you're given. It's an action you take. So let's really break down that difference. So what are we talking about here? Well, a leader is a noun, right? It's a person, a specific role. But leadership, that's a verb. It's this dynamic, ongoing process of influencing and interacting. It's something anyone on a team can and frankly should be doing, no matter what their job title is. Okay, so if leadership is an action, what do those actions actually look like? This is where our playbook really starts to get interesting. Let's dive into the first set of plays, the 6 leadership styles. And here they are. These 6 styles come from the incredible research of psychologist Daniel Goleman on emotional intelligence. Now, the best way to think about these is like a set of tools in your toolkit or different hats you can wear. The goal isn't to just find your favorite one and stick with it. No way. The goal is to get good at using all of them so you can pull out the perfect one for whatever challenge you're facing. First up, we've got the commanding style. The phrase here is simple and direct. Do what I tell you. Now, this might sound harsh, but think about a firefighter running into a burning building. There's no time for a group discussion. This is your emergency-only tool. You have to be careful, though, because if you use this too often, it'll crush team morale. So save it for a genuine crisis. All right, let's switch gears to something way more positive and inspiring, the visionary style. This is the leader who paints a really compelling picture of the future and says, "Come with me." This is the play you run when your team feels a bit lost, when they need a North Star to guide them. It gets everyone rallied around a shared goal and has a hugely positive impact on the team's energy. Next, we've got the affiliative style. This one is all about one thing. People come first. It's about creating harmony and emotional bonds. So you'd use this play to heal rifts in a team, to rebuild trust after a tough time, or just to motivate people when things get super stressful. It's all about strengthening that sense of belonging. Then you have the democratic style, and this one is built on a really simple but incredibly powerful question. What do you think? This is your go-to when you need to build consensus and get really valuable ideas from your team. It makes everyone feel heard and gives them a real stake in the outcome. Now for a tricky one, the pacing style. The motto here is, do as I do now. This leader sets incredibly high standards and leads by example, expecting everyone to keep up. Now look, it can work, but only with a team that's already highly skilled and super motivated. You got to be careful with this one, because if you use it too much, you're just going to burn everyone out. And that brings us to our final style, the coach. Instead of demanding results, the coach asks, how can I help you improve? Their phrase is, try this. This is the long game. It's not about just fixing today's problem. It's about developing your people's skills so they can handle tomorrow's challenges all by themselves. It's a true investment in your team. Okay, so you've got the styles, you know the plays, but leadership doesn't happen in a vacuum, right? It happens with a team, and every team is on its own journey. So for our next section, we need to understand your team's 5 stages. So check this out. Every single team goes through this journey, whether they know it or not. It's called Tuckman's model. It starts with forming, that's the honeymoon phase, where everyone's polite and on their best behavior. But then comes storming. That's when the politeness wears off and conflicts start to pop up. If you can navigate that, you get to norming, where the team starts to find its rhythm. And that leads to performing, which is the sweet spot. The team is just a well-oiled machine. And finally, for any given project, there's adjourning, when it's time to wrap things up. The real key here is knowing which stage your team is in, so you can run the right leadership play to help them get to the next. All right, we know the leadership styles and we know the stage our team is in. Now we need to get into the nitty-gritty, the day-to-day execution. And that brings us to a really crucial part of the playbook, mastering feedback and goals. Honestly, giving good feedback is a leadership superpower, and the SBI model is your secret weapon. Instead of saying something vague and unhelpful like, your presentation was a bit sloppy, you get super specific. You say,
In this morning's client meeting, that's the situation. You interrupted the client 3 times while she was talking. That's the specific behavior. And the impact was that she seemed to shut down and we kind of lost all our momentum. See the difference? It's not a personal attack. It's clear, it's objective, and most importantly, it's actionable.
And when it's time to set goals for your team, just saying work harder doesn't cut it. That's where the SMART framework comes in. It's pretty much the gold standard. It forces you to make every goal specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. It's how you turn a fuzzy idea into a concrete plan that everyone can get behind.
So, we've looked at the different styles you can use, the stages your team goes through, and the tools you need for feedback and goals. What does this all add up to? Well, it's all about reaching the ultimate goal, becoming the all-rounder leader.
And here it is, the big takeaway from this entire playbook. The absolute best, most effective leaders, they aren't just one thing. They're all-rounders. They're like chameleons, able to fluidly switch between commanding in a crisis, coaching for development, being visionary for a new direction, all based on what their people and the situation need in that exact moment. That's the mastery we're aiming for.
So we've laid out the plays, the game situations, and the tools. The playbook is officially open. The only real question left is the one right there on your screen. Which play will you run first?